We've already heard a bit about the cognitive interview and the costs and benefits of using this technique, but what does a cognitive interview actually involve in practice? Well, the original version of this interview, devised by Geiselman and colleagues and published in 1984, included 4 cognitive mnemonics. These are report everything, mental restatement of context, change perspective, and change order. The report everything mnemonic consists of asking witnesses to report everything they can remember, whether it seems trivial or not. This means that witnesses should be encouraged to report partial information they're not sure about, and information that they think the interviewer already knows. Now, this instruction is very important, as you need the witnesses to break the basic communication rule that it's rude to dominate a conversation. You want your witnesses to dominate this interaction. Allowing witnesses to talk freely about everything they remember is an important part of the procedure, as witnesses will typically choose only to recall information that they think might be important for the investigation. It may be that details a witness considers to be irrelevant are actually of value for the investigation. So everything that pops into the witness's mind needs to be reported so that all the information known to the witness is given to the interviewer. Further, because our memories of some aspects of an event actually overlap with other aspects, it can be that some recall, even if it seems irrelevant, may activate other relevant details. Now, during the use of this technique, it is critical that the interviewer does not interrupt the witness while they're recalling. Here it can also be useful for the interviewer to take notes of the relevant information reported, as these can help with the use of other techniques. Griffiths and Milne in 2010 gave an example of how this instruction could be worded. Their example went like this.
I was not present at the car park this morning, so I need you to tell me everything that you can remember, even the things that appear trivial, unimportant, or that you cannot recall completely. Even the smallest pieces of information may help the investigation. Everything that pops into your mind, you just let me know, even if you think we already know them. Please take your time and tell me everything you remember.
The next mnemonic is the mental reinstatement of context, and this consists of asking witnesses to mentally recreate the event they're trying to recall. Witnesses are encouraged to recreate the physiological, cognitive, and emotional states that were present at the time of the event. This technique is based on the premise suggested by Tulving and Thompson in 1973 that memory retrieval is more efficient when the context of the original event is recreated through recall. As Memon in 2006 noted, the task of mentally recreating the context is not easy, and so the interviewer needs to assist the witness by giving an instruction that restates the context that they experienced when they witnessed the events. This method consists of a number of linked instructions delivered with a pause between each, which allows the witness to recreate the context as required. For example, Griffiths and Milne in 2010 suggested the following instructions for a witness who was reported seeing a man from a neighbour's house as she left to go shopping.
Close your eyes. Think back to that day. Picture the house in your head. Get a clear picture of that house in your mind. Think about all the objects that were there on that day. Think about all the colours you remember seeing. Think about all the sounds that you can remember hearing. Think about how you were feeling. Think about what you were going to do. Then, when you are ready and you have a clear picture in your mind, tell me everything you remember in your own time and in your own pace. You have as long as you want.
Note that the context reinstatement instruction can take some time to deliver, as a pause should be taken between each mini segment, as you want the witness to have the opportunity to rebuild that image or feeling that you're asking them to think about. Milne in 2004 also recommended that the statements are given in the past tense as opposed to the present. It can be helpful to ask the witness to look in the floor or a blank space in the interview room, or to close their eyes to assist concentration if they feel comfortable doing this. The idea behind this is that doing so will help the witness to focus the retrieval process, and it will stop any distractions that would otherwise divert the witness's attention away from the task in hand. Again here, the interviewer should note down the relevant episodes described by the witness during their initial free report in order to go back to fully explore each mental image. Now, this technique is quite difficult to do in practice, both for the interviewer trying to elicit the recall and from the witness trying to remember. Because of this, several alternative procedures have been proposed since the original development of the technique. One of these is the sketch mental reinstatement of context proposed by Dando and colleagues in 2011. In this technique, witnesses are asked to draw the event they witnessed themselves and then use the same sketch to draw what happened. This allows witnesses to initiate their own contextual retrieval cues through drawing the crime scene. Importantly, this technique is also less time-consuming and is free from the interviewer's interference, as it is the witness who directs the context reinstatement task and not the interviewer. It is possible that when using the traditional Methodist technique, that an interviewer could inadvertently use some misleading retrieval cues drawn from other witnesses' reports.